Anxiety is a response to threat. So that might be threat coming from fear, like maybe fear of heights, or it could be shame, like fear of being made fun of. And there's a number of things that can happen. You get physical symptoms, maybe your heart starts to race, you get shortness of breath, hot sometimes. You also tend to find that your thoughts start to speed up. You may think more negatively, focusing on things like risk, what are the chances of something going wrong, safety, how do I cope in this situation, how do I get out of this situation. And people tend to cope with anxiety by avoiding a lot. So often in terms of behaviours, people will try to avoid the situations they are anxious in or find ways to cope with those situations. So anxiety impacts on people's lives very differently depending on the person and the kind of anxiety problems that they have. Someone who has social anxiety, they might have real fear about public speaking or even entering social situations like going to the pub and walking into a room full of people. And the impact can be that people's world shrinks, really, because anxiety is so uncomfortable to experience. People find all sorts of ways to either not do things, or they find ways to cope with doing things that then become a problem in themselves. Anxiety is something that everyone experiences, so it's normal. It's a normal human response. And there's a difference between anxiety at a normal level, whatever normal is, and a clinical problem. The difference really comes down to severity, so how intense and problematic the symptoms are that someone's having. The duration, so maybe how long they've had the problem for, and perhaps most importantly, the level of distress that it causes. So that might be the impact it has on somebody's life and what they can and can't do. Or it might be how they see themselves. They might start to view themselves very negatively. Sometimes people say, I'm not the person I used to be. Or it might be impacting on their relationships with other people. So sometimes anxiety problems can mean that other people start to help you a lot, and that can put a pressure on relationships. There's a number of ways in which it can impact, but it's really about how severe, how long, and how distressing it can be.